Hi, it is April 12th and it is 11:32 p.m. Um, and I guess some progress that I've made was actually something that happened today. Today there was auditions for the spring showcase for theater and performing arts. Um, and so basically, I just walked in the theater lab and there was this girl. She was crying, and I really didn't know her. I've never really seen her before, um, but I knew she was a beginning theater, so she was a freshman, and um, and so she was crying, and another friend of mine was there, kind of there to comfort her, and I just asked her. Are you okay? And I knew it had something to do with the auditions because yeah, I can tell. Um, and so like she was like so like shooken up by whatever happened that like she was like shaking like and and so like I told her I was like like breathe, like you're fine. um and once she calmed down, I was able to ask her like what actually happened, and she told me that she was on stage during her audition and she choked, like she just completely forgot her song, and she just like kind of went off stage and started crying to where she was at that point. Um, and so the first thing I asked her was, I was like, well, did you know your song? Like, did you practice? Did you prepare? And she was like, yes, like I've practiced the song. I know the song. And she was like, I don't know what happened. I don't know why. I just got really, really nervous and I just froze. And so like I told her like, well, if you really did practice the song and you really know it, then you're fine. Just go out there and do it. And so like basically she so I pretty much what I did was I told her something that I do myself actually, and it's whenever I go out like in front of like judges for auditions or just a performance in general. I don't go out there like expect like thinking in my head I'm with singing for all these people or these people are judging me right now. Like I don't go out there with that mentality. I go out there just thinking I'm singing in my room and I'm practicing, because the way how I practice so much. I practice every single day basically after school, whether it's in my room here or at school after school. And I practice to where I want to be so consistent with how I'm doing, like so that way that like when I actually do perform and have to audition, um, it's no different than how I'm singing when I'm in my room or when I'm um, like just rehearsing in general. And so I told her just go out there and do it like you're like rehearsing. Um, and she ended up staying after so she can audition after all the rest of the auditioners went, and I actually stayed to watch her, and she was still really nervous. You could definitely see that she still had a lot of those nerves still there, um, but she went on stage and she did it, and she did really well actually. Um, I was even surprised because I'd never heard her sing before, and she made it. She made the showcase auditions, and so she's gonna be in showcase. And I wasn't even I wasn't during that entire time like this whole like the whole project. I wasn't even thinking of that like that. Didn't even go through my mind when it happened. It just kind of happened, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get out of this whole thing. This is to help people with performing, not just on stage, but also just in general, public speaking, basically, because it's all about preparing. And if you don't prepare, well, then like I mean, you can't really go out and do it. But if you do prepare and like you really do prepare for it, then it's all in your head, and it's only yourself that's stopping you. So I thought that it was crazy that just kind of worked out that way without me even planning that to happen. But it happened today, so I was really happy that it did happen the way it did, and that I got to help someone out of it. And so, yeah, it was a pretty good day. And that's my vlog for today.